Okay, there we go. My microphone wasn't working. Holy crap. I've been talking for like 20 minutes. Okay, we'll start from the beginning. What's up, everybody? The whole time my mic wasn't on. That's really funny. What's up, Skeptic? Alright, we got it fixed. It's okay. This is how you know I'm tired. I slept 45 minutes today, dude. I'm so fried. Alright, we'll start from the beginning. Yeah, I'm just bored, so I'm making a tier list. I'm tired. It's outdated. Decided I'd do it on stream. Uh, First character. I'm should have worked down from S. Yeah, it was bad. It's a bad day today. I'm still worked down from S. The first character is how am I still alive? You do what you gotta do, man. You do what you gotta do. The world don't stop turning. Uh, yeah, I have number one. Pretty undisputable. As Testament. The character is just very overloaded. It has a phenomenal neutral game, really great buttons, good anti-airs, the ability to cut off area avenues of approach with traps. Web and tree both cover different parts of your approach option, and to approach, basically, you can't play full screen against Testament unless you're dizzy because of how Back Beast works. Back Beast is an insane move. You could like it right at essay on how stupid that projectile is. But yeah, because of how Back Beast works, you kind of have to always approach Testament, and to approach Testament you have to deal with traps, which means he gets to hit you for free, or attempt to hit you for free because you have to pop the trap. So it's very, very strong. Uh, Probably the most consistent set play in the game, in that it's totally resource independent. It just gets better with resources. Um, it's not like the whole sequence jails you can get out of beast loops, right? In the, like the beast block string, but you normally want to FD so you can't be tick thrown, and your risk gauge doesn't go up, assuming because you don't want to guess wrong, right? Because the character actually does a lot of damage, especially if your wrist is cranked. So, or guard gauge rather, wrong game. So, and if you FD, you can't get out. It was very obnoxious. High-low strike throw, even a gimmicky left-right with teleport, but it's not really. I don't really care about that. It's more about how consistent the set play is. You add Master of Puppets, and man, it's just you cannot get out without having to block a couple mixes. And if Mop is up, the dolls, Testament does so much damage. Oh my lord. That character, if you can do like the Cascade Repoison combos and whatnot, this character does an obscene amount of damage. Uh, let's see what else. Oh, Testament has the best move in the game, in my opinion, in FB Skull. That is such a stupid attack because the bird is so dumb. When you get cursed by the bird, it's ridiculous. It's like a Mario Party. It becomes like a Mario Party experience, and all the mini games are rigged against you. And FB Skull procs on block, so it's really dumb. You can talk about the bird briefly. The headbutt is broken. It's literally the best move the bird has. The feather covers so much of the screen, and the axe is the worst move, but it lets you get unblockable, reaction unblockable if you're good enough. So they're all pretty damn good. Obviously has a launching throw, which is amazing. The only thing Testament doesn't really have is a good reversal. They have Nightmare Circular, but it's a pretty shitty reversal super. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Gravedigger's not a reversal. Warrant's not a reversal, but they are obnoxious because they open up gaps. I think Warrant's a very overrated move, but it's still good if you place it properly. Gravedigger is just a strong move for 25 meter. He is a strike invincible normal for some reason. I don't know why they decided to make 2A strike invuln. I don't know what they were thinking, but that's a corny ass move, and it's really strong. Yeah, the character does not have. I don't think Testament loses a single matchup. He has some hard 5-5s in like Milia, and especially Dizzy. Dizzy's probably the hardest matchup Testament has in this game. Dizzy and Testament. Dizzy had playable matchup with Testament back in AC, so that should tell you a lot about how strong that character is too. We'll get to her eventually. But yeah, it's the best character in the game. I don't think it's disputable. And if you dispute it, you're probably weird. But, you can have your own opinion. Okay, number 2. Oops. Is Zappa. Zappa, it's funny. It's only number 2 because Zappa loses the Testament. At least in my opinion, that's why Zappa's number 2. This character is bonkers. Let's talk about Zappa's properties before we talk about the character. He's like always low profile, a very good low profile, by the way. It's like Faust-esque in how strong it is. He has the best backdash in the game. Let's see if my math is right. It's like what, 1 to 12 in Vol. It's like a 13 frame backdash, or like 1 to 11, 12, whatever. It's vulnerable for 1 frame, and you can move backwards across the screen incredibly quickly. Oh my words, incredibly quickly. And as you're doing that, you're vulnerable for 1 frame. What is that Bavagali backdash? Bro, he's blessed, man. Best backdash in the game. Like, unarguably the best backdash in the game. Even without summons, Zappa has some pretty stupid moves. Like, Far Slash is, like, ridiculous. Like Far Slash is a ridiculous move. But, obviously, he's a hard summon character. Like, that's where he shines. In terms of his summons, they're all good. They're all good. Some of them are ridiculous. I'll start with the best summon. Right, and this is not arguable. I've talked to Kesuke about this. I've talked to Rocco about this. Dog is the best summon Zappa has. Every single character in this game loses to Zappa with Dog. Like, Dog is the most busted thing in this game. It's like there's if you block at all when Dog's on the screen, you're stuck. You're gonna get unblockable. You're gonna get reset. I hope you have burst, because otherwise you have to hope Zappa messes up, but you're godly on defense, which probably not. The fact that like Dog can cut for you, you can only hit the Dog when it's doing moves. It's so strong. Dog is unbelievable. Anyone who tells you that Dog's pressures all mids or something, don't worry, like they're wrong. They have no idea. They don't even know who Chinari is. They don't know anything. Dog is ridiculous. And there's Sword. Right? Sword is full screen high-low pressure. It's essentially if you block Sword once, you're on the route to lose the round. You really shouldn't be in that position. Yeah, this is why you kind of have to maul Zappa no matter what your character is. And then Ghosts are just phenomenal neutral tools. They have strong mix as well with the left-right, and they control the game state really well. The Ghost Curse is very obnoxious. It's basically Bird Curse from Testament, just slightly worse, but still ridiculously obnoxious to play against. And yeah, also this character has a DP, but unbelievable. You have a DP reversal super. Zappa's good reversals. Rao is misunderstood. I've seen this weird like narrative around that Rao is bad. Rao is like an insurance summon. The way you're supposed to use Rao is you call him when you can just kill your opponent with the Rao super, like through chip. Rao, there's so much chip. So like an unbelievable amount of chip. It's just like go in like practice mode and look at how much damage you take when you block the Rao super. It's unbelievable. Rao also has insane DP, massive normals, and Zappa still has a launching throw, by the way. It's a little situational to confirm off it, but he's a launching throw. And people talk about like, oh no, Rao is like whatever, like he is no. Again, I don't think people really like have seen the strongest players play Zappa. Chinari uses Rao like a lot, and he was arguably, according to some sources, Kesuke says this. I don't even know if it's true. That Chunari was the strongest player back then, in like the 2013 era, 2012 era. Yeah. Zappa's only real issues are his, because even like with like just in general, his mix is very strong. No matter what summon you have out, you have access to a very quick overhead with your force break. He has good cash out. Like he can just spend 50 meter whenever he wants to Centipede Super, get rid of his current summon. It's invincible, very hard to punish, does good damage, it's decent reversal. He's all of his sword and ghost spend meter very well as well naturally. Dog is a bit different in how you spend meter with it. Really, you're just sitting on it. His real issues is specifically in like the Testament matchup, and I guess you could argue like Dizzy, in that his air normals are pretty weak, which is a real problem when you're dealing with web. And his most broken interactions don't really play well into, again, Back Beast. Back Beast is just a unbelievable cheating projectile. You get to summon something behind someone that they have to hold, and it changes the entire way the game plays. So yeah, that test match is pretty rough. I'm not gonna sit here and like analyze those Zappa's matchups because I'm not a Zappa source, but I understand enough to know like the matchup with Testament's not good, but he's very, very strong. More people should honestly play Zappa in America. This character is amazing, and I really don't know why he's not played as much. I think he's a very interesting character. But yeah. Third. Oh, what the hell am I doing? Oops. That wasn't supposed to happen. Third top tier character. Oops. Sorry, I'm on my touchpad. I don't have my mouse right now. Is Baiken. Let's put it this way, if Baiken didn't have her guard cancels, she'd probably still be within the top 6, top 7. The base kit of this character is obscenely powerful. Even without guard, like if you just had Baku, let's say. We'll give her 1. If you just had Baku, she'd still easily be top 6. But she has all of her guard cancels. This character has some of the most carry neutral, like up there with like Testament and Dizzy, like Faust, like carried neutral in this game. Your jump cancelable sweep, you have +1 black normals. Tatami's a ridiculous fireball. JS is massive. You have any matchup where you get outranged, you have the command dash with armor that can go into a guard cancel, so it's not even like, you know, it's command dash and then like, oh yeah, she's in. No, you get to pick if you want to guard cancel afterwards, and then you don't have to play. You're never really on defense because you have all of your guard cancels. There's no universal answer to them. They're very wide range in how they function. Some of them literally cheat. Like obviously she has the little moonwalk. It's like the Abba slide. She has that one. Orin and like Sakura, they're dumb, right? But that's not even like what the ones that I think are the most obscene. Baku's a ridiculous move. Unbelievably broken. I cannot believe they designed Baku. I don't know. I'm like speechless. Zakuro is hilarious because Baiken already has a very good 6P. She's short and has a good amount of upper body invul. And on top of that, she has Zakuro, so moves that you are very hard to anti-air or sequences. For example, Dizzy, IED, J2S, JH, which is a very strong sequence. Normally, most characters, it's very hard to anti-air IED, J2S, or just low air dash J2S, and you have to block JH because it's so plus that if you miss your slash back, you're stuck. Right, you're just stuck. She gets to block J2S and Zakuro. It's really good. That's really, really strong. She's launching throw. All these characters have launching throws. Zappa's a little situational. Very high damage. Ridiculous damage actually for how good her neutral is. Very super easy Oki. Not easy in terms of mechanic, easy in terms of like execute, like it's very straightforward. Meaty Tatami mix. Meaty Tatami mix. You don't interact with reversals. You don't interact with people trying to be weird. You just do Meaty Tatami mix. It's that Kiri Tatami is not easy. Don't listen to me. Don't think that's what I'm saying. She has very strong mix, right? High low throw, crazy good. And yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to say. Baiken is one of those characters that's held back by Baiken players not learning how to play Guilty Gear. If you guys are interested in learning Baiken, watch Maruken play, please. Don't watch anybody else. Alright. Number 4. This is the last S tier character. I am not tapped into the webpage. I'm sorry, guys. Alright, last S tier character, in my opinion, is Dizzy. Dizzy is literally a boss character. She's ridiculous. She's as close to cheating without actively cheating. This character, oh my god, where do we start? Some of the most nonsensical buttons I've ever seen in a serious fighting game. Like this is like not like a serious, like this is not like some like weirdo game, right? This is like a game designed to be like played by a lot of people, and it's a fighting game, so they didn't go too, they try in quotes, they didn't go too crazy with the designs. And yeah, we have stuff like Dizzy 2K and J2S in this game. We have an unthrowable air normal that hits what 270 degrees. I think it only doesn't hit above her, above like forward. You know what I mean? That last quarter of like the circle. And it's not air throwable. 2K is one of the dumbest low pokes I've ever seen in the game. 2K is hilarious. She's the third best throw range in the game. Couldn't tell you why, because the throw launches. She does so much damage, way too much for a character like her. Especially if you combo into Bubble or D-Fish, the damage is unbelievable. She can combo into her throw, which gives her phenomenal mid-screen Oki. She has some of the most disgusting mix in this game. Mid-screen and in the corner. Her F-Shiki does 300, I think. If you know how to do the combos, like 280, 300. Like, what? You just always have to hold the low, because if you block the F-Shiki, you die. It's so not in your favor. Reversal save Oki, uninteractive Oki. It's like you can't dead angle her. Again, like it's same thing as like Testament. At least like Zap and Baiken, you can dead angle. So you can't even burst her. You can burst Testament. You can't burst her because Fish used to burst. She's so uncommittal. Like her sweep is jump cancelable. Like why? 2 air dashes. Like why? Multiple jumps, 2 jumps. Some of the best anti-airs in the game. Why is Spike an anti-air? 2S is such a brain dead anti-air because she low profiles and then it hits directly above her. Right? It's unbelievable. 6P's fine for checking air dashes. It's not like an amazing button, but it's fine for checking air dashes. And then Spike covers that last angle, so she can anti-air with Spike, and that does a lot of damage too. Force break Spike is 25 bar win and neutral unless your opponent has a better move. It's like force break skull or stuff. Very strong, insane move. Force break Spike. And she has an amazing matchup spread, like amazing. The only reason I have her lower is because she doesn't have the same BS as the 3 characters above her. But her matchup spread is phenomenal. Again, she's the best Testament matchup in the game, in my opinion. She's so good and she's so easy. This is actually easy. You have to learn 1 FRC to play this character. She's so easy. My god. She has a, you can't. Sometimes it's hard to get an air knockdown, but if this character could knock you down consistently in the air, I probably wouldn't play this game, to be honest. So yeah, that's the S tier. Let's see from here. We'll get to the regular Guilty Gear characters. Top of A tier, I have the best regular character is Millia. Millia is one of those characters that's unique in the fact that she makes you play Guilty Gear. She's kind of like the antithesis to the top four, in that when you're playing against Millia, you always have to play the game. That's why a lot of uh, players of the top three characters try to claim that Millia is a bad matchup because they don't know what an even matchup actually feels like for most, for most of their characters. Like, you know, all respect to Kesuke, and the guy's so good. But when I ask him about the Millia matchup, he'll discuss how Millia's like J and K normals, especially in the air, and Pin just you have to play around them, right? You have to play around them. Every character has to play around them because she makes you play. You have to play her game, and that's why I think she's so good. Doesn't mean you lose the matchup. Don't get that twisted. Like every character has to play around Millia. Millia doesn't win every matchup in the game. But I think she also doesn't have any losing matchups. Maybe she might if I think about it carefully, but I'm too sleepy to really like go through all the matches in my head. She's a very good matchup spread. Again, amazing neutral, super low committal, fantastic set play. She has Secret Garden, which is the amount of things Secret Garden stops you from doing. Like she gets to run every mix she wants on you. Disco Key, she has crazy. I'm not even going to her mix. If you don't know, like, just watch Nakamura or Woshige or something like, or Blitz. She has crazy mix. Launching throw. Again, see a pattern for most of these characters. Again, she lacks a good reversal. Her reversal super is not very good. She has some trouble converting off certain things. But if you have meter, that's not a problem. Millia builds meter very fast with how much she moves around the screen. Her damage is actually good for her archetype. I've seen people say Millia is low damage. If this character did like 180 a touch, this game would suck a lot more. Like 150 on average, 146, whatever, 188, whatever like her ratio, like her exact number is. That's totally fine for the character's archetype. She's totally fine. And then she has high damage routes on top. And this character's amazing. Yeah. Next, after Millia, I have Faust. Oops. Why? What is going on with me today? Faust. Yeah, he's Faust is really damn good at Guilty Gear. He's got these huge buttons. Very like, they accidentally cover a lot of things. Like 2K covers a ton, 5K covers a ton. Like this characters. 6P will just 6P. You can like press 6P in a lot of situations. You'll just beat out most pokes. Low profile is very hard for characters to deal with. Not only is the zoning very strong, item independent, but Faust's items in this game are very skewed in his favor. The worst items are the food items. Everything else is good. He also has insane set play with his instant overhead low, unblockable trifecta, and then he has the generic Guilty Gear Strike there on top. Damage is okay. It's not really a problem for him. He gets a lot of touches. Again, lacking in the reversal department, but he has like a pseudo reversal mix-up between FB Chop and like 6P and 5D and whatnot. His reversal super is bad. It's actually bugged in this game. If you press your button before Faust, which the game will always let you do that, his reversal super will never work and you'll hit him. So, well, anti-Faust tech for you. His problem is that he kind of struggles in certain matchups where he doesn't get the right items. And I'm not trying to make excuses this character because he's so strong. He lacks the ability to enforce at the same level as Millia, really. That's pretty much all it is. Yeah. Very good character. Has really good conversion in this game too, thanks to FB Pogo and stuff. Like, he gets to pick up a lot, go on my way, FRC, JD, hard knocks down. Oh god, I just remembered his left right. Yeah, no, Faust is very good. After Faust, I have Chip, kind of like the same uh, same vein as Milia, and Chip always makes you play the game. Chip is a lot more stressful to play against in neutral. The lockdown aspect of his game is not there like Milia's, but his ability to force scrambles is much higher. And Chip is another character I think has very few or if any bad matchups. He has very super hard though, so like you don't really see him a lot. And even the Chip players that play him can't. Not all of them can always execute. Like, because a big complaint is Chip doesn't do good damage. Chip gets good damage if you can do hard, like really hard stuff. That's why you don't really see it too much. But it's really strong mix. A lot of ways to layer, like mentally layer with you as well. Like leaf grab is a move that's fake on paper, and then when you play against Chip, you're like, God damn, leaf grab is a real pain in the ass. Was it Samito that was doing? He would ladder you to the top of the map, wait till you touch the ground, and then while you were off screen, start leaf grab FRC, and then grab you the moment you touch the ground. That was pretty racist, honestly. Maybe it wasn't him. I forget which Chip player I was watching. Was it Joe Biden? Regardless, irrelevant to the point, but Chip has got a lot of like scummy stuff you don't actually see very often. He's also super ignorant. Like he has some of the best buttons in the game. His close slash, his 5H, his sweep, his especially JD and to lesser extent JHS. Chip's buttons are phenomenal. He for some reason has a 5-frame reversal in Beta Blade and a 4-frame reversal in FB Beta Blade. Right? Is my frame data right? 5 and 4 frames. Someone check me on that. Has insane call out things that do a ton of damage. Like if you get hit by FB Gamma Blade, good luck. You're going for a ride. Guts busting with his super, his Rambo super. Find Me's not as good in this game as it is in Excerpt, but there's some. If you use like the Samito color, it's actually really hard to see Chip when he 5Bs twice. Teleport FRC is amazingly strong. It's a neutral skip. It forces a mix up. You have to like kind of always be OSing teleport with like randomly timed air throws. Not randomly timed, but like you have to be trying to call it out while you're moving around. And again, in matchups where you can escape Chip normally, he's so fast that he gets to keep the spacing he wants just by moving around. Yeah, Chip is amazing, and I really wish, again, one of those characters I wish more people played. But he's very difficult, so I understand why he's not really represented as much. Okay. Next in the A tier, I say is Jam. This is a character nobody plays, like at all, and she's super ignorant. Like my God, she just has such ignorant buttons. Parry's a cheater mechanic. Her damage output is phenomenal. Like her reward is phenomenal. She actually has a great mix-up between her card overhead, or even a regular one, but really is a card overhead is what you want to use, right? Her throw. She controls so much space with Puffball. It's very hard to keep her out no matter what the matchup is. She is really stubby, right? So I guess it's a big problem for her. And it's like especially against these stronger characters. But if you're like a regular character fighting Jam, it's an absolute nightmare. She's so good at like busting you up for interacting with her. And she's like real monkey mode. And she's got some great stuff, but you can still, the worst part is you can play her solid and it's like very strong. Another one of those characters that just rule scramble situations. Yeah. I think that's where she belongs. I think that's the end of A tier as well. So be going on. So I kind of separate B plus and B because I feel like there's a couple of mid-tier characters that are just better than everyone else in the mid-tier, and then like worse than like the real strong characters in this game. So I do it like that. But where's someone is texting me? Where's my phone? Oh, it's just an email. All right. Anyway, sorry, business email. Yeah. So in the B plus tier, it's kind of tough. I wish I could just put characters at the same spot, you know, but you can't do that. It's a tier list. Yeah, I'll do it. I have Order Souls, probably the best mid-tier character. I'm sure some people don't agree. I'll make my case. At this point, so once we get to here, the order doesn't really matter, by the way, in my opinion. This is where the order matters. Here, it's whatever. You just have to, like, this is the only tier that matters now. This is all just, like, opinionated stuff. It's very hard for me to be objective here. Here, I can pretty confidently say this is the right order. Here, it gets weird. So, Order Soul is... How do I word this right? The best... Not the best. He's a very strong rushdown character out of the regular guys. You know what I mean? Probably is the best regular rushdown character in this game. Order Soul has the benefit of being a character that gets to always rebuy pressure. He's a character that has the benefit of punishing characters for keeping him out because he gets to generate resources. He has a surprisingly good mix, right? For a character that you consider to be pretty vanilla. It's pretty hard to block 2H. It's not like it's an unseeable overhead, but when you start to get stacked and pressured, 2H sneaks in there. He's got crazy multi overheads with his JK, low JK. It's scummy. There's like some scummy overheads you have access to. If you do the good combos, he does very good damage. Even before recharge routes, he did good damage. Recharge routes are great in that you get a knockdown at the end. But his air tech game plan that was popular before the recharge meta is also still very strong, like the Kazunoko style. Because he's so fast and he gets to force so many high-risk defensive decisions from your opponent that you can cash out on with like his coverage in those situations like JK and air throw, that he just has a very solid game plan once he gets in, which is obviously his weakness is getting in. But not that he's necessarily bad at it, is that that's where you can counterplay him. His problems are like he's quite stubby. You need to either have meter or charge being built. Not like you need to have it. He's not. You can play him resource independent. Again, Kazunoko was a player that would neglect charge unless you needed to charge it, and he would just get his charge naturally through action charge FRC. But you can play him at level 1 very comfortably. Rocket's a great move for pressure rebuys. Blockhead Busters are very obnoxious to play against. It's just like a big, so you know, there's like the levels layer 0 rocket Blockhead Buster, like I use a 10 to block string or like build the action charge, whatever, like by frame advantage. And then there's like what like X Phantom does where you counter pokes with Blockhead Buster. That's really hard to play against if you don't have some strong disjoints. Fantastic sweep. His big problem is that he has bad anti-airs. Straight up, his anti-airs are bad. Like, they're not good. You have to air throw with this character. Very specific, close-S timings to anti-air. It's hard. Like, 5HS you can stuff IEDs with, but his anti-airs are really bad. And that sucks in this game, having bad anti-airs. All these characters in SNA have very stupid jump-ins. Like, very, very stupid jump-ins. Even Testament, who doesn't really jump. I guess Zava doesn't jump at all. Realistically, he doesn't jump at you. But excluding Zappa. All these characters, even Testman, have some very stupid jump-ins. So you gotta be on that tire. So yeah, he has to use JP and JK a lot. Makes him have some very tight air throws you have to make. Sometimes you just gotta hold it. Gotta have good defense. His reversals are bad without meter. His sometimes him not being able to convert air touches into knockdowns is unfortunate, but again, he thrives off the scramble. Yeah, I think that kind of discusses why I have Haas where I have him. Next character I have in B+ is Anji. Anji is really, really good, man. Not only is he a very solid character, a very simple game plan, get a knockdown, force butterfly Oki, do it over and over again. He has access to unblockables, a very good unblockable. He has access to an invincible Rekka, and he has auto guard. Spends meter very well, does good damage, very strong at locking down the opponent once he's running his game plan, so they can't you can't really scramble. You have to play solid to escape. And really, that's all there is to say about Anji. Anji's difficulty is in getting in against most of the characters he has problems with, right? It's getting in, or having to deal with characters that beat out a majority of his moves by default. By default, Anji is relatively a character that doesn't like dealing with strong lows. Bot. Whatever, sorry, Automod sent me something. Anyway, what was I saying? Shoot. Crap, where was I? My brain. What was I talking about? Yeah, so Anji is relatively... He doesn't want to deal with characters who have strong lows, which... there's a lot of strong lows in this game. But, again, he's got phenomenal tires, and when Anji's phenomenal tires, great grounded buttons. Well, okay grounded buttons, let me correct myself. His grounded buttons are improved by the fact that he has auto guard. They're not amazing by themselves. What really, I think, helps make Anji kind of sit here is that he kind of naturally OSs things very comfortably with how auto guard works and stuff like his 5P, making combos burst safe, and then, you know, On has a natural burst safe OS built into it. He gets to circumnavigate a lot of stuff naturally, and I think that really benefits him. But again, his difficulty getting in against various characters in this game, because again, like, you know, it's not like Anji just loses to strong characters. He's a very bad matchup against Soul as well, and that really is what it is. Characters that can stuff him, and then Anji on defense doesn't have a real reversal. You have to use like auto guard stuff to like shenanigan out of things, and that kind of hurts. Not having a reversal is rough, like at all. You know, having a reversal is rough. So yeah, Fusion is invincible on startup, yes, but obviously you can get hit out of Fusion. So okay. Let's see, after Anji, it's kind of tough. After Anji, probably Mei. This one's a little tough to pick. A very underrated character. one of my conceptually the gatekeeper characters in terms of like how good your character really is how well you deal with certain characters in this game. Mei is one of them. If your character is a bad matchup against Mei, you're probably not very good. In terms, relatively speaking, every character in this game is good, but relatively speaking, because Mei is like, if you have problems dealing with Mei, you'll have problems dealing with Chip and Milia and Dizzy, and you know, it doesn't look good for you. I mean, there's not really much to talk about her. She's got strong mix. She's got very ignorant buttons. She's very good. You don't have to play her like fake solid the way a lot of people play her. But it's not like the thing about that is that that's a real game plan. It's not like it's like you that's like oh it's scrubby you can't play that way. You can actually play that way and it's like but it's viable. You don't have to. You can be a little more reserved. But I mean, there's only not really much to talk about Mei. She's just a strong character. That's underplayed, underrepresented. I don't really have too much to share on her, really. Besides that she's good. Her struggles are while she has great hitboxes on her moves, her range is really short, and that does tend to lend her some issues. Lend some issues rather in a lot of matchups. A lot of characters in this game that are good have like strong long range disjoints, but she does. But even in those matches where she struggles with range, her dizzy and her damage are so high if you do the right routes that she can really play out of any situation. She's a good character. And I just value mobility very highly in this game in general. Which is ironic because the next character I have is Justice. Where's Justice? Here she is. Justice is another gatekeeper character in terms of tier list. If you have a bad matchup with Justice, you will probably have a bad matchup with Faust, Dizzy, and Testament. She is very weird, right? Because she's kind of like fortress character. Surprisingly very strong Okazemi, like very good mix. Does phenomenal damage. My gosh, some of the highest damage in the game. Yeah, I mean, I might as well explain. You know, like instead of just throwing characters on the list, if you know, at least let me give my 2 cents on why I put people where. She unfortunately suffers from having very, very, very polarizing matchups. Like super polarizing matchups. Justman gets shit on by Testament, for example. Dizzy sucks. Milia sucks. I don't know why Blitz didn't use Force Break Secret Garden in the matchup at all. You watch Nakamura sets, he abuses the hell out of that against Justice. And she can't do anything. Then she also, again, Back Beast is just so awful to play against. Back Beast, and you literally cannot avoid Force Break Skull at all. Most characters can at least move. I haven't really talked to Hada about it. I talked to Rocco about it a lot. And Rocco's like, yeah, I have no answer to this. And it's right, it's tough. You can't even slash back Force Break Skull. Luckily, even in those like awful matchups he has, she just does so much damage that she's never out of the game. She's unique. She kind of you get to have fake solid defense on Justice. She again has the best throw range. Well, I didn't say again. She has the best throw range in the game. Because if you slash back it still curses you. It procs no matter what. If you interact with the skull at all, it procs. Even if Potemkin flicks it, he gets cursed. I'm telling you, it's the best move in the game. Yeah, it's literally the best move in the game. What was I saying? Yeah, so she gets to be low fake solid on defense. One of the best backdash in terms of invul, I think. I think her and Pot have the same amount of invul. But she has her throw, but what really makes her so fake solid is that she's so tall that she blocks a lot of, and this is really obnoxious when you start to play at the higher level and you understand what's going on, because when you're like new at the game, you don't even know what's going on. When you understand, because she's tall, she blocks jump-ins higher than most characters, so she's less minus, meaning that things that aren't throwable against everyone else become throwable against Justice if they hit a little too high up. Just like at the height that normally it hit lower on someone else, it hits higher on Justice, and suddenly it's throwable, and that's really obnoxious. And that's why Justice players are all throw mashers because she literally gets to throw people more than other characters because of how tall she is. Yeah, like I say, it's Justice. So rounding out B plus, I'll kind of just do 2 at a time. It's Venom. I'm sure Venom players are mauling at the fact that I'm saying this character is strong, and they're like, but yeah, Venom is very good in not very. Yeah, I'll say very good. Sure, Venom's very good in this game. He's a very good offensive game plan in the way he chips out characters. Not chips out, okay, like he loops pressure. He can chip you out. He is a launching throw. Oh, by the way, let's just talk about launching throws. So far we have launching throw, situational launching throw, launching throw, launching throw, launching throw. No. Technically, you can combo off this. Launching throw, with butterfly. It launches. Doesn't have launching throw. Launching throw. Launching throw. You guys see something? You guys notice a pattern? I thought I just banned this bot. Go away. Anyway. Let's talk about Venom's weaknesses first. So Venom players don't rip out their hair. His anti-airs are bad. No reversal. His I hate the dust loop for this character. I think it needs to be worded a lot better. But it is true that Venom, like, okay, every character underneath these top 4 have to interact with the system mechanics, and the system mechanics in this game are very good. Defense in this game is very strong. Don't anyone lie to you. So once we get to like here, this is when you start to notice how strong Faultless defense is as a mechanic. Like really, I mean, it's really good here. Don't get it wrong. It works here. It even works up here. But these characters can all circumnavigate it. These characters can't, but they get to play against Faultless defense longer. And like they have more options to rebuy. Here's when FD becomes very, very strong. Like really, really good. And Venom suffers a lot from this because he doesn't get to run his Venom 6P and Gucci. So no. So Venom 6P is better than people tell you it is. Like, but there's a lot of air normals in this game that are hard to 6P at like air dash. You'll 6P will often whiff, or you'll get hit deep. Right, and that's where he struggles. He doesn't have another anti-air. He also can't cover people jumping like this arc. He can't really cover this arc, and that's not a good thing. He has to air throw a lot, so that kind of hurts him a lot. Oh, why do I keep moving this? I'm not a good streamer. What was I saying? Yeah, so his entire game is very weak. His ability to rebuy pressure without resources is weak. Venom players will complain about his low damage. I don't care. He builds guard gauge so easily, and he has a very strong mix in terms of multiple overheads into FP Mad Struggle. You can disguise that move really easily. Say his generic strike throw, chipping you out, especially with Carcass Raid, like charging Carcass Raid and feint Stinger into throw. Like he's got a lot of ways to like sneak in a touch or grip you up. And on offense, his game plan is amazing. Right, so his offensive game plan is super consistent, which is why I rate him so highly. He just struggles on the defensive aspect, like quite significantly. Very much a glass cannon character. Really, all the assassins are, except for like Slayer. I mean, I think that's all a B plus. Potentially I could put Axel here. But I'm gonna put Axel at the top of B. He's the last gatekeeper character. It's Axel. That's it. I'm not gonna talk about Axel. It's Axel. Okay. Now we're in regular B. Yeah. Oh. So after Axel, we have Pot, and I just put Pot and Abba together. That's just what I usually do. Both these characters have a very strong snowball offensive game plan. Both these characters have a very Abba less so, but hers is inherently more risky because you lose the game if you get knocked down 3 times. Have issues in the neutral. Temkin especially, you have to have very strong defense to play this character well. And you have to be able to do his hard stuff, like really hard stuff. I'm not using that to lower him on the tier list. It's just you have to be able to do his really hard stuff. And not having access to that is a big detriment. His strength is in the fact that his game plan is so rewarding that you don't only need to win a few interactions. And the Abba has that same. They're kind of like Kuso characters, honestly, and like they just kind of delete you. But they have their flaws. Potemkin, you can just get walled out really bad. And he has some. No, that matchup spread is okay. And Abba is the same thing. You can get walled out pretty bad. And as much as Abba players, I respect Abba players for telling you this character is like better than what people thought she was. But hey, man, being knocked down 3 times and dying is really bad. Really bad trait. I don't care how good your install is. And everyone's also just like just runs into the armor move instead of like not doing bad attacks against Wake Up Danzai. I couldn't tell you why they do that, but hey, it's NA Guilty Gear, right? Why are we surprised? Yeah. Next, this is pretty tough. So I've changed my opinion recently, and I think Ino's a little higher up than I usually put her. Not because of like anything I've watched lately. I've just been reflecting on the character more. Normally I used to put her lower because I genuinely think her execution requirement is too high, and that just hurts the character because we had people that were that good, like Koichi playing the character. Koichi's that good, and even then it was tough. She has obviously phenomenal offense, lockdown Oki with her note into whatever she wants. It's always note first. Because of note, the Oki's very strong. Besides the fact that it's a great mix, but not having while her dash is great when you're opening people up, not having a run in this game I think is a big weakness. And if you notice, I don't think I've put a single step dash character out here yet. Yeah. Not having a run, Justice can't dash, but not having a run is like a big problem. Oh, but definitely can't dash either. And while her hover dash is amazing in terms of its a unique movement tool, it opens up her ability to do instant overheads, and she has access to lower air normals all the time from different angles. She's one of the few characters that has her forward moving air throw OS. She can just air throw you while moving forward fast, which is really strong. Her neutral is a lot more measured and slow because of this. And HCL doesn't make up for it, neither does stroke. 2 very good moves though. But yeah, I mean, if she didn't have those issues with movement, and also the screen, this is a big thing, difference in Exert in this game. The screen is really big in this game, and movement is really good. Exert, the screen is smaller, and movement is not as good. She's a bitch in that game. But I didn't really play Exert like that, but I didn't play Exert at all, rather, but she's a bitch in that game. In this game, the screen's way bigger and your movement's better, so it really helps in dealing with her, if you understand what you're trying to avoid. And also, her not freezing the screen really helps. Yeah, she still has access to very strong tools in this game, specifically FB note and whatnot, but, is what it is. She's good. Don't get twisted. Usually I put her like over here. I've changed my mind on her. Next. Yeah, it's probably Eddie. I've lowered Eddie on my tier list lately. I still think he's way better than everyone thinks he is. Let me tell you, but I understand he's a little lower. It's just that how good these characters are at killing Shadow really sucks. Like these characters, especially like these, Faust, uh, they kill Shadow so well. These characters just maul you. She just mauls you. This is really bad for him, I think. Um, what makes... If you use Vice, Eddie belongs here. Because Vice is really strong as well. If you just use normal summon, Eddie's like over here. But if you use both, Eddie's here. Offensive powerhouse. Can control specific parts of the air very well. Invite Hell is just a great projectile. He's kind of like, he's got some tricky anti-zoning. He unfortunately struggles very much in catching high mobile characters. He cannot convert air combos into knockdowns without Vice or Shadow Gallery or Executor, and two of those are very specific. So there's that. No reversal. I don't even count Amorphous as a reversal, which sucks. But it is a reversal. Eddie's really hard to protect in this game, Little Eddie. It's really hard to keep Little Eddie alive. So you have to be very strong at microing Little Eddie. And that doesn't lend to benefit him in this game. Yeah, his weaknesses really kind of keep him lower than where he could be. So I'd say next character is probably Soul. Character I'm intimately familiar with. This is my character. I don't think he's bottom 5. I don't know why Japan thinks he's bottom 5. He's got a very consistent game plan. He's got options to fight every character in the game. He just has some bad matchups in the top, and he unfortunately has... He's one of those characters that really struggles with the system mechanics as well. Flawless defense is amazing against him. Flawless defense into being blockstring enders is just such a strong way to deal with Soul's offense. It's not like you can't deal with it back, right? He has ways to get back in, but that lends to really limiting his approach and making him spend resources. His reward is fantastic for him getting in, and he has such good defensive options that he's never out of the game. Just his limit, not even his approach is limited. The fact that you have to enforce your mix-up relatively quickly, and his mix-up is relatively simple, kind of lends to it being not him being lower and him having problems in certain matchups. Still very strong, and to his ease of application, and the fact that like Soul just works in every game state really helps him as well, though. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, Kai. The Doomer Kai players. You guys gotta like actually look at this character more objectively. He actually has. He's really like neutral, like Prince neutral. He's got great neutral. Better mix than people think with Trap. You have ambiguous left, right, mid screen. He's very good pressure rebuy. Builds Gargage very fast, so his throw off RCs do a lot of damage when he hits you. He does struggle a lot in dealing with the bullshit characters. That's really rough. And while he has like very strong anti-airs and he's got great pokes, it's the fact that these two parts of his character are separate that really hurt him. And his inability to cash out without having the resources, either being guard gauge or meter, really hurt him in this regard. He's Venom with better defense and worse offense, so that doesn't really put him in high regard to the rest of the cast. Next, I'd probably put Cliff. I know a lot of people think Cliff is like here, or maybe here. I don't think he's there. Mainly because his mobility is very bad. that definitely doesn't lend to benefit in this game. Again, fantastic damage, very strong mix, good neutral when characters have to approach you. When you have to chase characters, his neutral sucks. You have to like randomly hope they run into stuff. And if you stay solid against Cliff, the match becomes very slow and very boring for both players because actually Cliff can't approach you. It's like a little hidden jutsu. This character can't approach you at all. Just don't let him taunt. You know, like just be in the range where if he taunts you can hit him, and then this character can't approach you. But you know, he's amazing reward, and he's got a very strong mix. Just some problem matchups due to his mobility. And that's why I have Slayer here as well. I know everyone thinks Slayer is like that character. I think a lot of people think Slayer is like very good in this game. I don't agree, man. I mean, like not he. Yes, he has TK. He has backdash TK. Yes. Soul Bonafide? Yeah, people think Soul's Bonafide. That's Japan's opinion on it. It's weird. Roy was whooping ass back in 2013. And I'm not like trying to Smash Bros. A tier list and say because Roy did well, Soul's good, but I don't think Soul's that bad. Slayer, I do think he has some problems with his mobility. It really hurt his matchups like Dizzy, Viking, Testament. I've heard people say like Testament and Slayer's even. I don't know how you could claim that. I really don't. A Faust, really a chip. He does a lot of damage. Yes, I get it. He does a lot of damage. Justice, you know, again, another rough one. He cashes out super well. I understand. Problem for him. I get it. And he's got a lot of options. Again, this doesn't mean he's bad. In my opinion, because of his lack of movement, he has a lot of problems with relevant matchups. As long as you play solid into Slayer, and he plays solid back into you, you can abuse the movement factor. And Slayer has to kind of put himself at risk. Now, and if you notice what I'm trying to say here is that like the fact that Slayer has to make those reads is why I don't think he's as comparatively strong. Still a strong character. You can win on him, no doubt. But yeah, I don't think he's nearly as strong as people say he is. And to round out B tier, I have Johnny. Oh my god, I can't stream. I have Johnny here. It's like, here's the thing. Sometimes in my mind, Johnny's here. Sometimes in my mind, Johnny's here. I'm just gonna leave him here for now and let people be like, oh my god, Rango's an idiot. Why would you put Johnny here? Johnny's got his big problem. One, he's a step dash character again. That sucks in this game. Very hard time chasing down mobile characters. You have to specifically route to get a knockdown. It's not impossible. Shout out to 8man for showing everybody that Divine Blade's a useful route. He has unblockables. He has very good damage. Coin's a great projectile. However, his neutral is so limited. It's really good. He uses good buttons, 5k, 6p, 5h, right? But it's so limited. He just has those buttons in neutral. You use those buttons to enable your other buttons like 2k, 2s, sweep, whatever, but those are your main buttons. Those are your main buttons. You know what? I'll put him here. Yeah, I think that's better. Thinking about it, but yeah. Those buttons really don't lend to his... like those buttons alone really limit his game plan because those are his best moves, but they also are, you know, limited in their widespread application. But he's got a very strong game plan once he's enforcing it. It just comes down to being able to consistently enforce it. I don't think he can. I mean, honestly, Skeptic, all these characters like relative are like at the same level. I don't really care about ordering the B tier too much. Like they're like all the same power level. It doesn't really matter. But if I had to order it, this is what it kind of looks like in my head. And then in C tier, uh, actually, yeah, Frigid is more consistent than Robokai, I think. If I'm put respect on what Bridget can do. What was there to talk about for these characters? They just have the most inconsistent game plans. That's really what it is. Yeah. I mean, I know you want me to talk about Bridget. Mobile character, can't convert air to air knockdowns. Unreliable. She has unblockable, sure. But not really reliable. She gives you a lot of chances to kill her because her damage is low. And again, because you can't convert the knockdowns, you get to scramble against her a lot. And if you're not playing scrubby, you can recover and slow the game down and find your time to get in. It just really sucks when she has a life lead and she's running from you. That's really her only. That's the only time Bridget I think is scary is when she has a life lead and she's running away. That's it. Who cares about Killing Machine? There's way more fucked shit in this game. And Robokai, I'm not saying he's bad, but having to manage your heat and your special move level combined with his overly specialized move set is really a pain. The character's really weak at level 1 and no heat. Like, really weak. And then he grows exponentially as you get these stacks. Really, I think Robokai's benefit is that no one really knows his matchup, and they don't understand the amount of stuff that doesn't work on Robokai, because he's Kai's hurtbox. Kai's very bad hurtbox, combined with Potemkin's weight, pretty much. And it's like, a lot of stuff doesn't work on Robokai. He can nene you pretty bad if he has resources, or if you get hit by the wrong thing. If you stay solid, you're making Robokai come to you, right? Like, you're making Robokai interact with you. And don't get hit by raw Robo Dash, right? And then suddenly the matchup is pretty manageable, no matter who you're playing. Or don't get hit by raw horse. Like, then what is there? He's smashing 2K. Okay, that's cool. There's not really much there. He just becomes a regular character. And he's a regular character in a regular game. That's a little dismissive, honestly. He's got some good stuff. But if you play around how Robokai works, you just make him come to you, and you don't like overextend, and you OTG him so he can't delay wake up. You don't bother trying to safe jump his DP, and you respect the fact that his DP automatically goes into super. Yeah, the matchup becomes a lot better. As a player, like playing into Robokai, and then you compare the characters to interact with them. I don't think any character loses to Robokai. I could be wrong. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Robokai wins a matchup in this game. Off the top of my head. I'm sure there's like one case I just don't know about. But yeah. So that's basically my tier list. It's kind of my thoughts on this game right now. I think this is pretty accurate. Maybe this is a little weird to some people, but again, like I said, I really don't care about the order of the B tiers. The characters are just like, it just matters if you're B plus or B to me. This ordering doesn't matter to me at all. So yeah. B tier is controversial? Yeah, probably. Again, I don't care. Most of the stuff I'll hear from people who complain about B tier is like Doomer, like people just complaining their character is worse than they actually are, or Abba is like actually here, and I hate that. That's just not true. So yeah, that was a fun stream to do. Abba AT. Yeah. And the only things that I feel weird about is like where Johnny actually is. Because again, sometimes Johnny's like here. And then sometimes Johnny's like in this area. For most of the time, Johnny's in this area. But sometimes he's here. In my head. But also, sometimes Soul is like here for me. But I know I don't think he's there. And I really want to put Eddie here. But, I'll discipline myself. Johnny has a lot of bad interactions in a lot of matchups. Uh, that's kind of why I don't rate him so highly. His moves are specific in the wrong way. Like they're specifically like limited. They're really, really good moves in their bubble. And then when they're out of their bubble, they struggle. And you have to use his other normals to fill the gaps. And other normals let you play around him. Yeah, I've heard people are like, oh, Cliff is way too low. The guy I learned the game with has a very strong Cliff. Very strong. I'm telling you, like, very good. Not like, oh, he's good, like, in close. No. He actually knows how to play Cliff. Very competent. And, I actually learned how to fight this character. Top 8 is... No, but that's because they're strong Cliff players, not because of Cliff. Like, Hono's a good player. What's that guy's name? Duck, and I forget his name. But he's also a strong player. Comparatively, in the scene. And also, people don't know how to fight Cliff at all. It's like a bracket demon character. They literally don't know how he works. Which is what I was getting at. Is that once you actually understand the ins and outs of this character, fighting him is... You realize that this is actually like a vanilla-ass like Street Fighter matchup. Despite how you like Cliff is doing some weird old man shit, like you just fight him like you fight him in a very vanilla way, and the game becomes very stable. And that's how you want to fight Cliff. I think if more people apply that style, it's a lot more manageable. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Appreciate everybody for tuning in and just listening to me ramble, I guess. These kind of streams are fun. I'll probably do one in a couple months, see how my opinions change. Yeah. Alright, deuces everybody.